All right, former Pakistan fast bowler Shoaib Akhtar held his elder brother's funeral prayers in Islamabad. Several prominent figures from the world of sports and politics attended the funeral, but amongst them are also terrorists from Lashkar-e-Taiba and its political front Pakistan Markazi Muslim League. What's even more interesting is that these videos were themselves released by the LET. The man you see on your screens is Inam-ur-Rahman Kamboh, the Islamabad president of PMML. He is present at the event alongside several other terrorists from the LET who can be seen in close proximity with Shoaib Akhtar. Does this show Pakistan's terrorist cricket nexus? And this is not the first time. Javed Miadad is the brother-in-law of Dawood Ibrahim. Shahid Afridi has been openly advocating for the army and terrorists. Professor Madhav Nalapat, editor of the Sunday Guardian, is joining us at this point in time to talk more about this. Professor Nalapat, what do you make of this? Shoaib Akhtar, a well-known public figure in cricket. He's also been seen in sports channels stemming out of India. But here we are, his brother dies and it's attended, the funeral is attended by known terrorists from the LET.
Well, it's a common practice in Pakistan for public events to be attended by known terrorists. I'm afraid there's nothing very surprising about this. And unfortunately, I mean, in Pakistan, sports also is heavily linked to, if I may say so, drugs and terror funding. So you have a lot of matches that are basically thrown, that are basically lost or whatever, taking place because of drug money and because of these terror gangs operating there. And they're also in the narcotics trade. So this is not a very surprising development. But it just shows how wrong people are when they think Pakistan is basically a friend in terms of supporting countries that are fighting terror. And in fact, Pakistan is the epicenter of terror in this entire region, if I may say so. And so from that point of view, Shoaib Akhtar and the LET there, I'm very glad NewsX has really the channel that has basically gone to town over it. And I do hope that people are going to notice it, frankly, in capitals in Europe and North America, because this just shows what Pakistan is. They're utterly shameless about the link with terrorism. They're utterly unapologetic about the fact that they deal with terrorists as good friends. And this only highlights that, Vineet.
You're quite right, sir. Thank you for speaking with us, sir. Major General Sudhakarji, senior defense expert, is also with us on the broadcast. General Sudhakarji, well, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, does it now? Seeing LET terrorists attend Shoaib Akhtar's brother's funeral is indicative of the fact that, not only Pakistani military and politics, but, the civilian ecosystem is embedded with anti-state elements.
Good evening. Thank you for taking me on phone up. I would be absolutely straight, and I would say it is why stop at cricket? Everything in Pakistan is actually linked with the ecosystem of terrorism. Here is a country which not only nurtures, it actually gives birth to the very concept, the ideology of terrorism. They cannot exist without this particular activity. And Pakistan is not a state. Any kind of statement given about Pakistan becomes too mild unless they are branded as perpetrators of human rights. They're criminals. They have to be called as such. And the same criminals have been they have been taken on the lap of Donald Trump. Here is a superpower which is supposed to epitomize the rules of engagement, the rules of law, and bring about some sense and semblance of orderliness in the world order. Look at what example are they giving? I must compliment you and NewsX for actually taking up a theme as this and highlighting the aspect as to how a game like cricket also has been so deeply, I would say, entrenched into terrorism. One really is very, very shocking. One didn't know that they could cross all the limits of the human value. So therefore, I think Pakistan has gone beyond all the limits and the boundaries. Call about cricket, call about business, call about river, water, anything that nature is given, everything thinks of only one thing, that is terrorism. Back to you.
Sir, appreciate you speaking with us. Shekhar Vijayan, political analyst and a cricket expert, also joins us on the broadcast. Shekhar, well, Shahid Afridi is, already associated with an anti-India sentiment. It wouldn't have been a surprise, if he was found toe-to-toe with some of these LET elements. Shoaib Akhtar's brother dies, and look what happens. The most wanted posters from FBI's most wanted list as well as India's most wanted show up for this particular event.
Absolutely, and I think it also goes to show that optics is very important here. You have a situation where, and Shoaib Akhtar, by and large, from the articles I've seen of him, his videos, he's always been very, very anti-India. Though he talks a lot about sports, but there is always a linkage here. And with terrorists coming in for a occasion like a funeral, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right, and it also goes to show that the entire ecosystem is built in such a way that they're all linked to each other. Terrorism, cricketers, and at an occasion like this. And Greece, this is not the first time. They've always seen that whenever a funeral happens of any major celebrity there in Pakistan, you have the militants also playing an important role there. So they're all hand in glove here. They're all joined at the hip, literally. And this is a very, very strong ecosystem. It also goes to show what Pakistan thinks of itself as a nation. When you have militants coming in and expressing the condolences, it shows a very different picture of the country. So I think India needs to be very careful with this. But also what's important is we also need to understand who these cricketing heroes are. If their alignment is with militants, then we know what they speak, why they speak, and how they speak. So it's very important to understand that. But I think by and large, it's also important to know that why are these militants even coming in for a funeral like this? What is the reason for it? And that is something which is very, very dangerous.
Shekhar, appreciate you joining.